I need some sort of intro, so I'm inserting it now. That's what he said. Hey guys, JessIsAMess here. I'm Jess, my entire life is a mess, and today I am going to tell you how I made my Attack on Titan cosplay. I'm not going to do a tutorial on this because, one, I've already made the jacket. I made it like 2 years ago. And two, there are cheaper options now than actually making it on your own. And I will address those options at the end of the video, but for now, we will talk about what I did to make mine. Also, glare, I know, I'm sorry, I can't see without my glasses, don't know what to do, all I have is a window. I can't really control that very much. So let's get started on how I made my Attack on Titan cosplay. So this jacket came from a thrift store. It was originally just a normal jacket that went all the way to my hips, but then I hemmed it so that it was shorter. And basically all I did was cut the jacket like in half, and you can see the hem right here. If you want to zoom in on that. I cut it and then I folded it, and then all you have to do is know how to sew a straight line, and that's basically all you need to do to hem. Fold fabric and sew in a straight line. So for these patches, these are, oh, yeah, there's a back too. Now these patches I got from Etsy. They were a little bit pricey. They are all iron-on patches, and I brought them over to my friend's house and she actually did it for me because I do not have an iron. But I noticed quickly that these iron-on patches were not very reliable. Maybe we just didn't iron them on right. I don't know, but I mean, they stay on well, but obviously, as you can see, there's some flapping going on. Worry not. If you do not know how to use iron-ons and you don't want to buy an iron or you don't have one, there's another solution. You can totally just sew them on. You can hand sew it. It's super easy. All you gotta do is know how to use a needle and thread, and you just thread around the outside of the patch on the white part, and you can of course skip over where the wings are, and you'll be fine. These are actually super easy to sew through. I had to do that on a couple of my patches because this thing was happening. Down in the description box below, I will list the cheapest Etsy store I can find that sells these and the prices that they are, just so you guys, I thought I had one on this. Anyway, so now I'm going to explain to you how I made the straps. It was actually, I'm not gonna say it was easy, it was actually really time consuming, but we did decide to do everything like the day before the convention. So we got literally like 2 hours of sleep that night. So in order to make the straps, what you can do is go to a fabric store like Joann's, maybe Hobby Lobby. My favorite place to go is Joann's, and they will often have a sale little rack, and I think that's actually where we got our fabric from. So this is the fabric we used. I don't know exactly what kind of fabric this is, but it's shiny and brown and has a look of leather. And then on the back of that, it's just plain like fuzzy stuff, so that's kind of cool. But what we did was take the fabric and cut them into a bunch of really long strips so that we could then sort of measure where they would go and where we wanted to connect them. Ours are a little bit less than 1 inch. You can make them as thick or as thin as you want, but this worked for us. Straps can be very complicated, so I will link some diagrams down below. They are not my diagrams. They are just from Google search, but that's exactly what we did. We Google searched it, and there were a lot of diagrams that helped us understand where the straps needed to go on the body. So of course, because we did the night before and we were kind of in a rush, we made some mistakes. Now in order to attach these strips to the body, we actually used hot glue, and that was our downfall. Hot glue is not the best option, guys. I know it's like, oh, cosplay is like holy grail thing, but honestly, every time I have used hot glue to make anything on my body, it has fallen apart. And one of those things was my Attack on Titan cosplay. All of the straps started falling apart because the hot glue was up against our body, and we did live in Texas, which is a hot place, and it was the middle of the summer, but this can happen at any time because the heat from your body activates the hot glue again, and then it will fall, everything will fall apart. I would highly suggest just taking a needle and thread, sewing a few threads, and you will be fine. If you have a really, really high temperature hot glue gun, you might be okay, but I really would not risk it, guys, especially if you live in the middle of a very hot place in the middle of the summer. I live in Florida right now. I'm sweating, guys. It's terrible. I just don't hot glue things to your body, okay? The next thing you want to do is get some suspender clips. They look like this, and you can open them and then put the fabric under here and then close it shut. And you can find these at Joann's, probably Hobby Lobby as well, Michael's, any kind of craft store, actually even probably at Walmart. So you will actually need 6 of these because Attack on Titan has 2 on each side in the front and then 1 on each side in the back. So you will need 6 of these suspender clips, but anyway, just follow the diagrams and it'll all make sense. So if you want something that looks like this and you don't need all of the extra straps, because you don't really care and you're not really going to take off your jacket, then an option for you is to just get a pair of suspenders, which is what this is, and add one little belt belt piece. And you've got an Attack on Titan cosplay. So to do the leg pieces is really simple. All you gotta do is take the same fabric, put it in a long piece, measure around your thigh, and then take one of these. It's just a mini little like belt hoop thing. Again, you can find these at craft stores. If you're not sure how to do it, just look at belts that you already own. It's very easy to duplicate a belt when you're looking at one. So that's all we did, and then we just slipped it on. And what I would suggest doing again is sewing them instead of hot gluing them, because these straps were everywhere, guys. Don't hot glue things to your body. Ah, it's terrible. I'm trying to go through this quickly. I'm sorry if this is taking a long time, but now we're gonna quickly go through the back piece. This was some brown craft foam, and we just spray painted over it silver. It is really beat up because 2 years old, okay guys? And again, this will all be shown in the diagrams that will be listed in the description box, but we basically just cut little slits, and then we put 4 different pieces. These are not one long piece. It'll make it easier if it's 4 different pieces that you glue into the back, or so. And then we just sort of glued it all the way down and had 2 slits down here, and it just went over up at the top. I really hope this isn't like too confusing, but it'll just give you ideas of what you can do. We obviously, like, we didn't get this from anywhere. We just looked at pictures of Attack on Titan and we're like, hey, this would work. So hopefully this is at least a little bit helpful if you didn't really know where to start. Then below that they have these things which just go like down at the bottom here. We just basically cut 2 slits in this craft foam, and then we painted it silver, put 2 slits here and 2 pieces of the strap fabric, very small pieces, into those slits. And now finally, if you don't want to make your jacket like I did, buying it from a thrift store, getting the patches, because it can get pretty expensive because of these patches. Because Attack on Titan is such a worldwide hit, it's actually very easy to get Attack on Titan jackets online. The best place to get a cheap Attack on Titan jacket is gonna be eBay. They have like 1,000 listings for jackets that are like $11 or $12. What? Now the only thing with that is that most of the time the patches are not a physical thing, so you can't like feel the embroidery. It's usually just going to be a print on the actual fabric, just like printed on. But it is $12. And they also have the green capes on eBay as well for just around the same price as the jackets. So you can get like your whole cosplay on eBay for super cheap. I usually don't like buying from cosplay sites because they're usually a little bit overpriced and the quality isn't always the best. So honestly, I trust eBay more than I trust actual cosplay websites. But that's just my opinion. Maybe you guys have had better experience. Oh, and for the wrap, I actually used a piece of fabric. You can just go to Joann's and get a really nice dance fabric is what I used, because it's really stretchy and it just looks kind of like it makes nice folds in the fabric, if you know what I mean. It doesn't get too like wrinkly. Yeah, and it's just a really nice light fabric to have. So I highly suggest just getting like a yard of that, folding it over, tucking it in your pants, and there you go, you have the wrap. Okay, I think I covered everything. That is all you need to know on making an Attack on Titan cosplay. If you want to see more of my adventures, click that subscribe button in one of these corners. I'm not entirely sure which one it is, but hey, we'll find out when I post this video. I hope that this video helped you guys out, and if it did, I would really appreciate giving it a thumbs up. And at least I hope that it gave you some ideas for how to make your own Attack on Titan jacket, or if you just want to buy things online, that's totally cool too. I have no idea what I'm doing with my life, but I hope that you guys can join me on the journey to finding out. See you next time. And in at least I hope that and I really hope that this guy's helped you out at least. And in at least I hope oh, it's on my arm. That was slightly terrifying. I hope that this video helped you guys out, and if it didn't, well, shit.